In this video, I'll be with you, Dr. Iman Abu Saif, Teaching Assistant, Operative Department, MTI University. In this video, I will demonstrate rubber dam isolation. First of all, we have to identify each armamentarium, each tool, and how to buy it and how to use it first. First, we have to know that we have the rubber dam sheet. This sheet is the only disposable thing or tool we have to use it. So, how to buy it, how to control your usage to it. First of all, we have two sizes, 5x5 and 6x6. As you can see, this one is 5x5 and that one is 6x6. The 5x5 is for children and 6x6 is for the adult. Second thing is the colors. We have multiple colors. As you can see here, the green one is if you want to make a Photoshop touches or something like this. The light blue is for the contrast with the teeth, and you have another colors. Third thing is the heaviest or the thickness of the sheet. We have extra thin, medium, heavy, and extra heavy sheets. In here we do want like something is heavy to not tear apart, and something is like more medium to be easily get into the contact between the teeth. This first thing we talk about is the sheet. Second thing is the template. This template is something they made to make it easy how to locate the teeth on the sheet. As you can see in here, the maxillary teeth, and here the mandibular teeth. It's easy to use like this. We can put the sheet like this and put on the template and locate the teeth. In the ordinary teeth, not the mal-occluded teeth. The third thing we can use is punch. The punch is the tool that we get to make a hole in this sheet. Okay, how to buy it? First, this front part, it has to be very, very sharp to have a clean cut. You have to get a clean cut to not tear apart the sheet. Second thing, this rule, you have to see it as easily moving like this. And the 5 holes, it have to be in different sizes. These sizes indicate the neck of the teeth, the cervical neck of the teeth. We do choose which hole according to the size of the cervical surrounding of each tooth. Another thing we do use is the holder. The holder is what we use to hold the clamp, which is stabilize the rubber dam sheet in patient mouth. This holder should have 2 tips and tricks. The first thing is how to handle it. The handle of this holder is that we hold it like this. The force of this muscle give you more power than you can use it like this. The power of fingers will not be powerful than the muscle here. So we can use it like this for the lower, like this, and for the upper it will be like this. The second tip and tricks in clamp holder is this round part. This round part should be in the same size or smaller than the side on hole of the clamp. If it is bigger, try to trim it with the contra and stone. Do not ever try to widen the hole of the clamp with a bare. It make stresses and make a crack propagation. This clamp will tear apart and fracture, cause a fracture. A second tool will be the frame. The frame we have here is a tool we have to stretch the sheet on it. We have a metal one and we have a plastic one. The plastic one get dull. This sharp nails get dull with the autoclave. But the advantage of the plastic one is that you don't have to remove it while you are taking an X-ray. But the metal frame is very sharp, still very sharp, and also it's very cheap. Last thing and the important thing is the clamp. The clamp is the tool that we have to use it to stabilize the sheet inside the patient mouth. This kind of clamps, we have a lot and a lot of designs, maybe more than 300 designs. What makes the difference? That we have the anterior, we have premolars, and we have molars. First of all, we have the anterior, the double arched clamp, we have the premolar, and we have the molar clamp. We can see the different incisors in them, okay? This for anterior, this for premolar, and this for the molar clamp. We have another thing to do is that we have a winged clamp and a wingless clamp. This makes it easy for us to stabilize something in like lower 8 or maybe class 2. We had to seat a matrix band or a wedge, something like this, okay? So this is a second thing. And this is another example for the wingless clamp. We have something else. It's called the double arched clamp and single arched clamp. Okay, so the double arched clamp mainly for the anterior and the single arched for premolar and molar clamps. Okay, what is the component of each clamp? Each clamp, as you can see, is composed of a bow, which have to be distally, unless in one situation, we will talk about it, then 2 jaws, 2 holes, and wing. Of course, the wingless clamp, this one, will be composed of a bow, jaws, holes, but no wings. Okay? This is most of our armamentarium to seat a rubber dam isolation. Rubber dam isolation is not the only isolation technique that we use, but rubber dam is the most effective technique to do so. So we have an accessory things that we must to have, but it's not that essential as these components. Like we have the floss that we use to stabilize some teeth that we don't put on them a clamp. And of course, a scissor that help us in making a plastic wedge, and we will talk about it, and some of lubricant, which lubricate the surface that attach on the tooth to be easily seated between the teeth. After we know the armamentarium, we will make an application on a single tooth, and multiple teeth, and split dam technique. First of all, we have to locate which tooth we will make on it. As we can see, this is the mandibular teeth, and here the maxillary teeth. What if we don't have the template? We're just doing this. We just fold the sheet in 2 halves. This half will be the maxillary and the other half will be the mandibular. If I want to work on one only quadrant, I will be making another fold like this. We have like this a quadrant only one quadrant. I will be working in here, not much, okay? So if I gonna work on this 6 or 7, I'll get my punch, making a big hole. The big hole is indicate a molar with a clamp. The second one, you can use it on a molar without clamp or a premolar with clamp. This one, the third one, is for a premolar without clamp or anterior with clamp. This one is anterior, upper anterior without clamp, and this, the smallest one, is lower anterior without any clamp. So we're gonna punch like this in just, see, we have to get a clean cut and making like this. This is what means by clean cut. We don't want any remnants around the hole that we made, okay? Second thing, if you want to make like those who are involved here, we do working on like a single class 1 single tooth isolation. So you can use this technique, making a hole in just one quadrant, and it will fit all the quadrants. We will use, this one is winged, so what we are going to use, is it like this? No, it will be like that. Okay, so the first thing that we get these wings inside the hole, like this. We just stretch the sheet and get the wings into the hole that we made. Only the wings that is apart. Then, if you right-handed like me, you will handle the sheet with the left hand, okay? And then use the holder with the right. If I'm gonna use like this, I'm putting the holder in the holes like this. And if I'm gonna to use it on the lower 6, I will just working on the surface of the teeth till I get the 6. As you can see, my sheet is stretched. I can see clearly the tooth, and the holder is holding like this, and open the clamp and just put it like this and release it. Just this kind of motion like this to make it apart from the clamp. Okay, after this you will not harm the gingiva. Do not press the gingiva more cervically or you will tear it apart. After we doing this, we just making the frame. We just stretch the frame like this. Are we done? No. This is something that we all forget. These wings, the wings that we just made as a first step, that we have here is a leakage. We can't do so. We can leave it like this. Okay? So with a probe or an excavator, you can just leave it like this. The sheet like this. The sheet should be beneath the clamp. You can leave it like this. These holes will make the isolation impossible. Okay? We just make the sheet underneath the clamp. And after we just finished, we just remove the whole ornamentum together like this again. This is for the single isolation technique. We have to know the multiple isolation one as well. So we here, if we gonna do from 4 to 4, what we have to do is mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Don't forget that if you have the diastema between the two central, you have to get these holes apart more. Okay? Get your punch. You have to find the first premolar. The bow should be distally. Just open the clamp and release it on the tooth. The other side will be the same. Find this is a canine, so you're gonna move more posteriorly, and this is a premolar. After this, you can make the wings with small probe like this, and the other side. Other side. So we have 8 holes. So this 2, and we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a missing one. This is a very important trick in multiple isolation. Most of the time, as you can see, a hole is trapped in the contact. So just stretch the sheet and you will find it like this, and you just stretch the sheet on the teeth to make the multiple isolation to be done. Okay? Are we done? No. Just okay. Use a floss like this. The floss should be bigger than the size between the teeth. You have to handle it like this, and with the 2 thumbs, and release it buccally or lingually, like this. As you can see, like this one, we will just make the rubber dam sheet enter between the contacts. As you can see, this one is bigger, so just fold the floss and make it again to make it happen. We have the last thing is the inversion. As you can see here, this part and this part, the sheet should be inverted into the sulcus, okay? We will just doing this like this. If you had a class 5 or something, you will never see it without a inversion like this. We will the inversion starts in the proximal, then we start in buccal and lingual. As you can see, the lingual side is one inverted and one not. Last thing we have in the making a multiple isolation to be perfectly done is the flossing. The flossing mainly we use to stabilize the rubber dam sheet on the tooth. We get a strand in the strand of the dental floss, just fold it with the left hand and the right hand like this. Then we hold it like that for the first time, making a first time fold like this. and then another fold will be done like this. This knot will stabilize the rubber dam sheet. You just hold it with the left hand in the lingual surface and just press it right or left to make it done like this. Just moving. This is a single hand technique. You can just press it, and we can see here more isolation and more clearance of the cervical area. Okay, and the last thing we can talk about is the split dam. The split dam, we can use it as a patient having an ortho wire or something, and we can't separate the sheet between each tooth apart, or maybe a patient having a bridge, or patient have an old amalgam restoration that making the contact is very, very hard to get between the teeth. So the split dam is very easy. You can make a holes like you making a multiple isolation. It's very easy for this, and then just use the scissors to cut between these holes. Just you cut between them and you use it like this. After you remove the amalgam or after you remove the crowns or this bridge, you can make another beautiful rubber dam again. I was with you in this demonstration rubber dam isolation, Dr. Iman Abu Saif, teaching assistant in restorative department, MTI University. Thank you.